doubt about it. Well, you know, you again, you hit on some good points because you talked about basically fast food, and you said that eating is fun, but also food is addictive. And me and you were having a conversation the other night, and we was talking about sugar, and you was talking about how sugar is more addictive than cocaine. And I've heard other studies, I've seen other studies that have said the same thing. When you think about a fast food industry that basically pumps about $1 billion a year just in advertising, then you're talking about a system that is specifically gearing towards the people in order to promote that bad food with all those GMOs and all that in it, and make the people sick, all for the purpose of $1.
Let me address that, because you're so right. First of all, sugar is one of the most serious killers there is. And we start off young with sugar. Our kids, we treat them with sugar, and it's a serious thing. Let me tell you this: sugar weakens your blood. Sugar causes inflammation.
Right.
You're not going to see those kind of warning signs on labels at ice cream parlors and things like that. Sugar weakens your body.
Right.
I got a list here. Sugar fatigue. It can keep you from sleeping. Insomnia. Body pain. You're going to have a buildup of inflammation in the body, and then before you know it, you got body pain, joint pain. You go to the doctor. He's going to diagnose you with arthritis, and then he's going to want to write you a prescription.
Right.
Sugar is not the only one, but that's one of the worst.
Right.
Fried foods. If you notice, like K-Rino said, they bring the fast foods to the black communities.
Right.
And they need us. We have made so many billionaires off of things that are harming us.
No doubt about it.
But those same people don't reach out to support us when we're being murdered in the streets. Oh, that's another topic.
No, I mean, no, it's actually it's this topic. We right on it.
I'm going to get back to this because this one thing takes you to another. But fatigue, insomnia, coughing, body pain, chest pains, headaches, runny noses, heavy stool. We can talk about all these things.
Right.
Bloody stool, constipation, blurred vision, excessive gas, loss of breath, a foul-smelling bowel. So a lot of people don't know that a foul-smelling bowel is a sign, it's a symptom.
Something's wrong.
See, your body talks to you.
Right.
And when your body talks, you need to listen and pay attention. You need to take notes right now and on some of the things we're going to talk about. And you need to take notes when you're by yourself. Oh, at 3 o'clock, I had a chest pain right here. I had a bowel movement, and it was so foul I had to go outside. These are the things that you're eating that's causing you these problems. Your body is letting you know you got a problem.
Right. Well, you know what they say, LV, man. They say, "Oh man, I'm just getting old, man. That's all it is. That's just old age. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing I eat. My mama and my grandma, we've been eating pork all our life. We've been eating all these foods all our life. I think we've just been so deceived by the food industry because it is a money industry. Now, one of the things you were saying earlier, you was talking about the constipation and all that. It's kind of segueing into something else I wanted to get into that I know that you are big on, and that's the cleansing of the colon. And if you had another point before that, feel free to go into that. But I really want you to go into the benefits and how important it is to cleanse the colon and keep the colon cleansed out, and why.
Well, first of all, the colon, like I mentioned earlier, is the number one source of our health problems. And I'm going to give you an example. The average person eats 3 meals a day. And I'm talking about the average person.
Right.
Because I remember when I ate 3 meals, I had to have my breakfast and I had to have my lunch and my dinner. How many meals a week is that? That's 21 meals a week, right?
Right.
The average person also have one bowel movement a day.
Right, if he's lucky. Yeah, right.
If he's lucky.
Right.
And that's 7 bowel movements a week, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do your math. Take 7 from 21, you got 14 meals left over where? Inside of you.
That didn't pass out.
That didn't pass out.
Right.
And when they don't pass out, what happens? The lining of your colon, the lining of your small intestines, the lining of your large intestines gets corroded.
From the accumulation.
From the accumulation.
Right.
And as you eat the white flours, as you eat the sugars, as you eat the greasy foods, it builds up worse. Right. And before you know it, you have parasites living inside of the wall of your intestines, causing you more problems.
It's become toxic in your system.
Toxic. Toxic means poison.
Right. Right.
And if you have poison inside of your system, you're in trouble. Right. Sooner or later, something could seep out. I know you've heard of leaky gut.
Right.
When you get the leaky gut syndrome, it's almost too late. Because what's going to happen, the toxin is going to poison your body. It's going to go all through the body. And in me, all of our bodies are different. In me, it could be my heart. In someone else, it could be your kidney. Someone else could be their liver. But those toxins are going to attack.
Right. I think that's why fasting is very important, because what fasting does, it allows the body an extended period of time to weed out the toxins that's in your body. And like you said earlier, when you're eating 3 meals a day and not even giving your system a time to digest the one meal that you ate 3 hours ago, then you put another one in there, then the accumulation of toxins comes about. As a minister, how do you view fasting? I already know the answer to the question, but how do you view fasting and its importance, and relaying that to everyone else who might be listening right now, who may not take fasting seriously?
Well, fasting is very important because, first of all, you can't just fast. You need to pray and fast.
Right.
You need some help. That's my point. You need to pray and fast, and like you just said, once you fast, it gives your body a chance to recuperate. God built that temple, which is your body, to heal itself.
Right.
And it will heal itself. But when we don't never fast, when we don't ever change our lifestyle, what happens is there would be a point of no return.
Come on.
And that's a problem for us.
Wow.
I've heard the old saying that said people perish from a lack of knowledge. Well, that's half true. People perish from a lack of knowledge, yes, but that's half true. People perish from not applying that knowledge to their daily lives. See, because you got educated people that know better, but they don't do better.
Right.
So hopefully that the information you get from us tonight will help you understand. Like I said, take notes. Help you understand some things that you can do. See, because we're going to get off into this program a little later about some alternative ways to help yourself heal. And remember this, I want you to understand this. Anytime you have a problem and you feel that it's a serious problem that you can't take care of, you go to the doctor.
Right.
You know, some people tell you, I don't fool with doctors, I don't go to doctors, I won't tell nobody to go. Well, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you to go to the doctor because you don't have an EKG machine at home.
Right.
You probably don't have a high blood pressure machine at home. Some people don't even have a thermostat, a thermometer, I'm sorry. So go to the doctor, find out what's going on, and then come home and try to heal yourself.
Wow.
See, food will kill. That's what we're talking about now. Food will kill you, but food can also heal you.
No question.
Just got to know what type of food that you eat.
No question. And when you was talking about the doctor, it made me think of something. Donald Elijah Muhammad, he said,
the doctors are not living any longer than the patients. So they have
Wow.
medical knowledge. They know the sciences of medicine and things of that nature, but they are also in the business to make money themselves. And it was something, you know, we talked about this a long time ago that you really put me on. And you was talking about how the doctors make the majority of their money off doing surgeries on people, on cutting people open. So in a lot of cases, they are not really 1,000% focused on fixing you, as opposed to getting that money from performing that surgery. Go ahead.
Well, let me elaborate on that, but let me go back to fasting for a second.
Okay.
If you're going to fast, you need to know how to fast.
Right.
You need to know what to do and what not to do. See, a lot of people think fasting is just shutting everything down. No, just do it slowly. Take something out of your diet. Just something. You know, some people fast with cigarettes. I'm not going to smoke any this week, even though they need to never smoke anymore. But you can say, well, I'm going to start with ice cream or sugar. I'm not going to do any for a week. That's a fast. Yeah. So then when you pray and fast, God will give you the strength and the health to complete your fast. Your body will heal itself. And the bottom line is, take something away from the norm, something that you usually do. I had a friend that told me that he stopped eating meat 5 years ago. And that's all we used to do. We used to go to, I don't know if some of you guys remember the Steak and Ales.
Right.
Man, we was in Steak and Ale 2 or 3 times a week because we loved to eat those steaks. But when I was about 38, 40 years old, they took toll on me. And
red meat.
Yeah. And I had to let it go. And I didn't do it all at once. I did it gradually. But boy, it came to a point where I had to let it go because I literally thought I was dying. And when a friend came to me and told me, he said, man, you need to detox your body. I said, what is that? You know, it goes to show you how ignorant I was to cleansing and detoxing. And when he gave me some product, he said, you can pay me later. Because I'm thinking, I had a negative attitude then. I'm thinking he's just trying to make some money off of me. You know, and this is the same thing people do to me when I tell them about things. So I understand it. But when I cleansed, it wasn't 2 days before I felt like a new person. So all I'm saying is, I don't believe in diets because they do not work. But a lifestyle change is life.
Right.
That will extend your life.
Right.
So I'm asking everybody to consider a lifestyle change. They work. They do work.
Yeah, and great points. And fasting, people, if y'all are listening out there, fasting doesn't just mean refraining from eating or drinking. It doesn't just mean that. It's more of a spiritual process than it is physical, because when you fasting, you also praying to the Creator to give you strength, number one, to make it through the fast. And you building up your spirituality. You're reading, you're studying, you're meditating, you're praying, you're doing all these different things. And also you're performing a sacrifice. You are sacrificing in the fact that you are refraining from something that is natural, and that's eating and drinking. So I always remember, fasting is not just, I'm not going to eat or drink for this amount of time. We'll go into something, because we talk about cleansing, and I want to get a little more into detail later on that, because people may not know, well, how do I cleanse? What do you mean when y'all are saying cleansing? What are y'all talking about? But also, I want to talk about something that you put me on years ago, too. And that is alkaline water.
Well, I put you on a lot of things.
Hey, man, look.
I like that. Okay, you've been listening to me.
I got to bow down and bear witness, you know.
All right,
but, the alkaline water was something that I had never heard of before you came one day and said, man, I bought this machine, and, like, this is what it does. we're not endorsing any particular product, but we are endorsing the actual
Alkaline water
right
itself. Exactly.
So go into that and tell us about the origins of how you got involved in that and what does it do?
Okay, a quick testimonial about alkaline water and me. I was working for Harris County Juvenile Probation, and one evening, both knees, my right ankle, and my fingers began to, I was in so much pain that I couldn't make a fist, and my knees were hurting so bad I couldn't walk. And I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to let this job go because this is too much. And I credit it to just getting older.
Right.
I found out that wasn't a fact. And I give God all the glory because I had a friend to call me and to ask me that I want to come over and look at this video about this water. Around in the same time, I'm in pain thinking about quitting my job. And when I looked at the video, I saw my testimony coming from a lady that was giving a testimony on the video. And I said, same problem I'm having. And I wasn't sure if this was a scam. I wasn't sure if it's going to work. But I said, hey, I want one of those machines, and I bought the water machine. Guys, two things I know about alkaline water. One of them is big business.
Right.
The other one, the alkaline water works. Now, let's start with the big business thing because people are being defrauded out there. I've had people to call me to come to a place, I'm not going to call any names, about selling alkaline water out of the trunk of my car. And I was considering it, but because I was ignorant to the whole deal of it. But when I found out that after 4 days, the alkaline water in the water evaporates and the water is just water. And then I have a lot of friends that are selling it out of their cars. And I started telling them about it, but they didn't want to hear it. And I got a machine at my house, and I give the water to people. Now, when you have body pain and you go to the doctor, he diagnoses you with arthritis, he should tell you that you have a high acidic body.
Right.
And which cause you to have too much inflammation. That's what he should tell you. But he tells you you have arthritis and here's a prescription, and he want to give you a prescription to go fill. Now, all doctors aren't bad doctors, but a whole lot of them, they get kickbacks for writing prescriptions.
Right.
So why don't you be mindful and research, listen to these type of shows, and get a better understanding of what's going on with your body. Now, the alkaline. Now, why is alkaline so important? Alkaline neutralizes the acid in your body. You notice I said neutralizes. Your body have to have some acid is what I'm talking about. It have to have acid to help digest food and things like that. But when you neutralize the acid, your body goes into a relief mode because your body is trying to heal you at all times.
Right.
So when it goes into the relief mode, you'll start feeling better because it started working for you. And before you know it, you're feeling better. Now, there's two things happening when you're drinking alkaline water. You're receiving alkaline and you're receiving more water than normal. This is why some people, when they are buying this water from these companies and selling it from the trunk of their cars, they'll say, well, my mom said it helped her. My brother said it helped him. It probably did. You know why? Because they're now drinking more water.
Right.
which all of us are dehydrated anyway.
Regular water, right?
It's just regular water.
Right, but the quantity is still helping.
Exactly,
Right.
the amount of water, because what is our body? 80% water.
About
75, 80% water.
Right.
We are dehydrated. And the average person you see is dehydrated and constipated. And guess what? The more water you drink, the better your system is going to work. You can flush out a lot of the garbage that's left in your colon.
No question about it. I mean, and that's a great explanation, because you spoke about inflammation, you spoke about acid, and once you get those water and it moisturizes your joints and all, and then a lot of that pain starts to go away. And it's high in pH. So like, cause like
balances off your pH.
Right,
Yes.
right. So and it oxygen, it gives
oxygenated your blood
to the blood,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that exist in our body that are negative that can be wiped out if the blood has enough oxygen in it. And alkaline water is a great way to kind of to help that along.
Let me say this too. The key is this: alkaline water can help prevent acid, right?
Right.
Acid causes tendinitis in the joints. And when you get tendinitis in your joints, that's because you got too much inflammation in the body. And when you get too much inflammation in your body, it can affect your eyes. It can affect your eyesight. Now, I have to go here. We're talking about vision right now. And I know it may seem like we're all over the place because I get excited talking about these things.
We on point.
I went to the doctor today, and is it okay now? Can I mention my doctor's name?
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. My doctor's name is Dr. Sonia Garado. And I'm saying this because all doctors are not bad doctors.
Right.
Find a doctor that cares. Find a doctor that's going to nurture you and sit you down and explain to you what's going on with your eyes, or what's going on with your heart, what's going on with your liver, your kidneys, your diabetes. It's easy for a doctor to tell a person, I got to do surgery. You need to do it immediately too. It's easy for them to say that. So it's up to you to take care of yourself and pay attention to your body. Your body talks. Listen.
You know, one time you was telling me something, and I repeated this story just in personal conversations with other people because at the time I hadn't thought about it like that till I kind of went through it myself. And you told me about this time that you went to a doctor and the doctor told you that you had high blood pressure, when in fact it was just a situation where your blood pressure was high at the time. And you was like letting the doctor know, like, no, I love that.
I love that. I just love telling that story. Before I tell that story, let me say something to the listeners. If you're out there listening in and you got kids and listening or family members listening, make sure they're like my son here. See how he keep telling me something I've said?
Look, you gotta
That's a good thing.
You gotta act like you ain't paying no attention, man. In your mind, you like, man, he just dropped the bomb. You know?
Well, the thing about it is a parent should always want to pass good news.
No doubt, no doubt.
And the Bible says, obey your mother and your father, your days will be long on this earth. It's not because necessarily you'll be just living longer per se. It's just that you will have less problems in life. Yeah. And that's a long life to me. So back to the high blood pressure thing. And I hope there are some people out there listening. And if you're having this problem, I hope this helps you. I had been up all night knowing that I had to go to the doctor for a checkup. And I knew that my blood pressure might register high. So I said, well, I got to go anyway. So, and when I went in, the nurse checked my blood pressure. She said, oh, Mr. Vaughn, your blood pressure is a little high. I said, yeah, okay. And she put it on the chart and everything. checked my pulse, my temperature. The doctor came in, looked at the chart, never looked at me, didn't know me from Adam. He said, Larry, I see we got high blood pressure here. He said, well, I tell you what. He said, with your age, you got to be careful. I'm going to write you a prescription. Now, I knew I wasn't going to fill that prescription. I knew I wasn't going to take that medicine.
Right.
But what I learned was this. He said, I'll see you in 3 weeks. I need that blood pressure to get down. I left. 3 weeks later, I went back. Same thing. Hey, Larry. Oh, the lady had taken my blood pressure. My blood pressure was normal. And when he came in, looked at my chart, Larry, oh, I see the high blood pressure medicine worked. And I said, well, to myself, I said, well, I didn't, I didn't want to just tell him.
Right.
But I just couldn't help myself.
Right.
So I said, well, I didn't take that medicine. And he said, all right, you got to be careful. You can have a stroke. You can have this. And he's right. But guess what? I found out that anything can run your blood pressure up. I can be riding down the street and get a call. And it might not be a good call to run my blood pressure up.
Somebody can cut you off in traffic.
Cut you off in traffic. You can see a bad accident.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so I found out that just because your blood pressure registers high doesn't mean that you have the disease of high blood pressure.
Right.
You need to pay attention to that. That's very important, people.
And also to learn that there are natural things that you can do to reduce blood pressure and also to reverse other ailments that are in your body through healthy, organic food.
Okay, well let's just talk. We're gonna back up some, because when you say some things that can prevent high blood pressure, and if you got it, can take it down.
Right.
Let me tell you some things. It goes back to your colon.
Right.
It goes right back to your colon. That colon, if it's congested, it's going to have your body off balance. When your body is off balance, your blood pressure is going to be registered high. And when you start taking blood pressure medicine, now remember now, I'm not a doctor, and I would love for you to go to the doctor, get a checkup. A lot of this medicines will cause you to have problems, health problems. See, they'll give you a medication, a prescription for this, and then after a month or so, you go back and say you're having other problems because of that medication. They won't tell you that all the time. They're going to have to write you a prescription for that because it's affecting your liver. It all starts in the colon. You've got to cleanse. There are natural ways you can cleanse your body, and there are some herbal ways you can cleanse your body. Now, the average person, 45, 50 years old, they won't be able to naturally cleanse themselves through, I have an ingredient here called apple, celery, parsley, and carrots. Mm. You can go to Whole Foods and get you some organic apple, celery, parsley, and carrots, blend it together and drink it or just eat it. It should make you eliminate. But if it don't, you need to do something different. You can do a colonic, or you can do some herbal cleansing. I've been a part of a company doing herbal cleansing for over 30 years, and it worked for me and a whole lot of people. But the bottom line is there are natural ways to detox and cleanse your body. Right. Natural ways. And I've ran across a few people. They took the product for 2 weeks and still didn't have a bowel movement. And I tried to talk them into going to the doctor. They refused. Now, how can you live 2 weeks without having one bowel movement?
People get used to feeling bad, and it becomes the norm for them. You said something a few seconds ago that I think was super important because I mentioned foods that are beneficial in the process of reversing sickness in your body, but the the good foods will not even work until you start the process of cleansing and flushing your body out. It's like if you was to try to move into a house that had a bunch of trash and garbage into it, you just bringing in brand new furniture into it.
Can't do it.
It's not gonna work because it's gonna just mess up the good stuff that you already have in the house, and it's not gonna be effective. You have to get that old trash out first. A lot of people say, "Well, oh man, I don't need to cleanse my gut. I just take a laxative or something like that." What's the difference between colon cleansing herbs and a laxative?
Chemicals.
Chemicals.
Yeah. See, the pharmaceutical companies, they are always creating and making things that it's like a Band-Aid. And you mentioned about food, and I want to get on this before I forget. You mentioned about good food.
Right.
What is good food these days? What is good food? Wow. Is good food always organic? No. Good food is not always organic. The grounds that we grow food in these days are not even, they don't have the minerals that the ground should have to grow food.
You have to train that ground.
You got to prepare that ground, treat it.
Right.
You got to get compost and put it in the ground and turn that dirt over and get it ready to plant seeds in it.
Right.
Because they are growing foods these days inside.
Right.
See, the farmers are shutting down.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be. And some people will say, well, that's a good thing because the farmers were using so many pesticides and stuff, right? Insecticides and pesticides. But when you don't grow food naturally, you're going to lose something.
That's right.
Minerals and vitamins is what our bodies need. We really don't need the food itself.
Right.
We need the minerals and the vitamins, the roughage. We need the fiber. So that was a great point about eating good food. But all I can say is do the best you can. Go to your backyard, find a good spot, and grow you some collard greens.
And study. You have to study.
Yeah.
The farming is a science, plain and simple. Anything that you try to go into, any endeavor you try to go into, you have to learn law to be a lawyer. You have to learn medicine to be a doctor and things of that nature. And you go through a course of study that qualifies you to become that. If you're interested in growing your own food, you have to go through a course of study to become a food growing scientist. I read somewhere where it talked about how God color codes the foods that we eat. Yellow means something, orange means something, green means something, red. All of these different colors that are in the natural food that God created, they serve a purpose. You learn that color code and you can say, well, this is what I'm feeling in my body. Oh, I need to eat a yellow bell pepper. I need to eat a green apple. These are the things that we don't know because we haven't been taught. And like you said, the pharmaceutical companies are so geared towards making all of this money. That's why you can ride down the OST and see all these different fast food spots. But then when you get to OST and Scott, they got you on each corner because they got a Walgreens right here and they got a CVS right across the street because it's a chain. We're gonna promote the food, feed you the food, let you get sick from the food, then you go to the drugstore and get the pharmaceutical. So everybody wins except the person who's dying from the crap that they feeding us.
And to piggyback on what you just said, you don't have to look hard for those people that are ill. They are the same people that are in line right as we speak now.
Right.
To get an order. Get their order.
Right.
They're ill. People that are standing at bus stops. People pass by you in cars. If they don't know, they're sick.
Right.
And that's not, and we're not saying this to belittle anybody.
No, not at all.
It's just something that I do, and I made it a thing that I was going to do all I can to educate my people. I want them to understand what they need to do to stay healthy. I know I can't reach everybody, but boy, if I could just reach one that might reach one, that's what's so important and powerful. If you can just reach one person to say, I'm gonna leave that fried chicken alone today, because every time on my lunch break I go over there and get me a 3-piece.
Yeah.
It won't be long before he have congested heart failure. It won't be long at all. We talked about fasting.
Right.
If you don't know what it means, you need to look it up. If you don't, if you know anybody that know, you need to talk to them. We talked about the colon. That's where it all begins. Let me tell you something that can help your digestive system. Chewing your food.
Properly. Right.
Properly.
Right.
Did you know that you should chew one mouthful of food 50 times before you swallow it? The only way you shouldn't chew it 50 times if it just starts disintegrating and going down. But if you put a piece of chicken in your mouth or a piece of steak or whatever, you chew it, focus on chewing it 50 times. You have molars in the back of your mouth. That should grind it up enough where your body can take it from there.
Right.
So, chewing your food is important. Drinking water, preferably alkaline water, is important. Lay off your sodas.
Right.
Lay off your sodas. And I'm going to say this. The things that we like to do, it's not forever.
Right.
Just change. Let's make a change. If you weigh 250 pounds and you're 5'10", you know you need to lose weight. So why don't you work on that? If you don't know how to do it, I have a program that I can help you do. So
let me ask you this. I'm glad you said that. We talked a lot about just the food itself and about the goods and the bads. What role does exercise play in all this?
Ooh-wee. Exercise, boy, I love this. Exercise is, a lot of people don't know this, is a form of detoxing. See, they don't get it.
That's strong.
Exercise, when you exercise, you have pores, you sweat. That's a form of detoxing. And if you don't exercise, you'll find yourself breaking out in these different boils and tumors and things, because it's trying to come out of the body.
Fighting to get out of there.
It's fighting to get out.
Right.
Now, guess what else exercise will do for you? It'll help your digestive system.
Helps your heart.
Oh, let's we'll get to the heart in a minute.
Right.
But let watch this. You're full, and you didn't have a good bowel movement.
Right.
And the next day, you ate like you ate the day before, and you're full, and you can't have a bowel movement. You know you need to. You're uncomfortable. Get up and do about 25 jumping jacks, and I promise you, you'll go have a bowel movement. Right. Exercise is very, very important.
Right.
Walking after a meal is good. I know some neighborhoods we live in, we can't take a walk, but walking is good. Doing those jumping jacks is good. Running in place. You don't have to go outside. Running in place. And it'll help shake that food from down out of your intestines down to the colon and out through the rectum.
Burning fat and all.
Burn fat, calories, and everything.
Wow. I mean,
yes.
And that's I think because I was reading, it says there's more than 1 in 3 adults are considered overweight.
more than 2 or 3 adults were considered obese. 1 in 13 adults are considered to have extreme obesity, and 1 in 6 children are considered to have obesity. Those are some high numbers, high rates when you accumulate the whole. And a lot of that has to do with a lot of the food, the bad food we eat mixed in with the lack of exercise. Because even the children, you got child obesity, then that points to enabling parents, enabling
exactly.
parents and children playing games all day. We used to go outside and play, and till it was time to come back in the house at night. So there are so many factors that factor in. If y'all are listening, that as a parent, if you like, man, how can I? You have to just put your foot down and force those children and force yourself. You got to do experiments on yourself. If you are feeling sluggish and sick, just say to yourself, hey, man, I'm gonna go 1 week without eating pork. I'm gonna go 1 week without eating beef. Just try it. And what will happen is you'll feel better in that period of time. And if you try to go back to it, it's gonna make you sick because it didn't have any business being in your body in the first place.
And you're so correct. I think that you might be putting a little bit too much pressure on. Just tell them to do it for 2 days.
Okay.
Just go 2 days. And then after 2 days, then try to squeeze in another day. If you can do a week, that'll be great. That'll be great. But I tell you, I tried that with some people. I couldn't do a week. I couldn't do a week. But a week is perfect. If you can just go a week without eating it, before you know it, all that stuff will start working its way down.
That's right.
Out of your small intestines and your large intestines. Your large intestines is about 7 feet long. And your small intestines, see, it's about 27 feet long. And I'm 65 years old. I remember I was very ill. I was very sick. I can imagine how much garbage was left inside of my colon and my small intestines and large intestines. I could just imagine because I was very uncomfortable. Until I cleansed, it was one of the best things I ever did in my life. I lost over 20-something pounds, and it was great. I advise you to take notes, study. We don't know when they may take this internet thing away from us. I heard Trump mention something about charging people for internet. So all I'm saying is go on it, take notes, and document everything that we talked about tonight. I pray that there'll be times when I can come back and do it again.
Absolutely.
Before this is over, I want to leave some information with you.
Real quick before you do that, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, give them, because we got about 5 minutes, give them your contact information if they want to get in touch with you to get some help.
Okay. I have an email, which is HLCC. That stands for Healthy Lifestyle Change Club. Yes, we're going to have a club where you can join and receive a lot of information. You know, I have a lot of ingredients. I have a lot of recipes. I'm talking about tasty foods.
Right.
Tasty foods. See, that's another thing. People think that eating raw, and I'm not talking about raw meat.
And eating healthy.
That it's not going to be tasty.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I eat at a place all the time, and I eat raw, and the food is very tasty.
Well, you cook yourself.
Yeah. And
I bear witness.
And I cook today.
I bear witness.
Yes. And I eat a lot of beans. I like to eat a lot of beans for protein. Right. And I'm going to tell you something else about beans. And then I'm going to give you my information. I tell people all the time to go to their pantry. If I'm on the phone, go to your pantry. Tell me how many bags of beans you got. I can tell you right now, I don't have no beans. I haven't been to the store. Some people know, well, I got a bag of beans. I got a bag of pinto beans in it. Why don't you have 20 bags? They don't spoil. You need to stock up on beans.
And let me shout out to the Navy bean. Greatest bean alive.
Exactly. And I can show you how to cook those great Navy beans.
Right.
I cook them great.
Right.
And I'm patting myself on the back right now. But
I got you.
write this email address down. It's HLCC53@gmail.com. That's HLCC53 53@gmail.com or call at 832-914-2050. And if I'm not answering, leave a message, and I promise you I will return your call.
Man, look, and if y'all have not been fed tonight, again, I say y'all wasn't ready to eat. We talking about some good mental and spiritual food that will prepare you on how to eat your physical food and give you a longer life. Go ahead.
Let me share something else with them. Again, get your pencil and paper out. I'm going to give you 5 top herbs in the world. I'm going to give you 5 of them. Now, I got 25 of them, but I'm just going to start you off with 5. Garlic.
No doubt.
Very potent.
No doubt.
If you can grind some up and just eat it, do it. Anytime you feel bad. Ginger. Guess what? Ginger helps reduces inflammation.
Right.
One of my favorites is turmeric. Some people call it turmeric. But turmeric, I eat it raw every single day. I eat raw turmeric. Of course, it doesn't taste good, but I can deal with it. Anytime I know something that's going to help my body, I eat it. I take care of it. Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is awesome.
Right. That's right.
Cayenne pepper is awesome. Try not to use the black pepper.
That's right.
Because black pepper causes you to have constipation.
Yeah, it's bad for you.
It don't digest well.
That's right.
Here's another one. When you talk about that high blood pressure or bad circulation, a lot of people, their ankles and their legs swell up because they have bad circulation. Apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is... These 5 are awesome. Now, let me tell you 2 products that you can blend together and they become a preservative.
You got 60 seconds.
Garlic and white onion, organic, all organic stuff now. We're not talking about stuff you can go to HEB and get. Garlic and white onion, blend it together. You can mix it with anything, and you don't even have to refrigerate it. Thank you.
And you know, I would like to suggest a book called How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's a great book that'll give you a lot of wisdom on how to eat, what to eat, and what not to eat also. Man, I want to thank you, Pops, LV, Larry Vaughn, Minister Larry Vaughn. We're going to definitely bring you back. I appreciate you coming and dropping this knowledge and wisdom on us and just giving the world what I've been getting for all these years from you. So, I mean, I would be remiss. I had to bring you on. So
I thank you for having me.
And also, like I said, we got a new time, y'all. We are at Friday nights at 11 p.m. now, and we on 90.1 FM. So we done graduated up to the FM dial. So make sure y'all tune in at the new time. We'll be taking some calls, 11 to 12. We'll be taking calls again next week. This show is pre-recorded, so you won't be able to call in. But I thank y'all for listening to K-Rino Radio. Shout out to No Regret Media in the building and holding it down on the filming. One love. God bless y'all. Follow me at The Real K-Rino on Twitter. One love. Peace.